Hello, everybody. It's Rick, one half of the DigiQuest YouTube channel. Um, I'm back again with a new deck I've been testing for Standard. As most of you know, I was playing a mixture of Jeskai Control and Blue-Red Control earlier in the format. After some more testing, I right now I just don't think it cuts the mustard. So I've been brewing something new. Played a lot of Teamer Energy for a while. Really tested hard with that. Think I refined that build pretty well. But what I kept thinking while playing it was that I was missing, one of the best energy cards in the game, in my opinion, which is Glint Sleeve Siphoner. One in a black. It's got Menace. When it attacks, you get a energy. Beginning of your upkeep, pay 2 energy, draw a card, lose a life. Excellent card. And also some of the best removal in Magic, period, Fatal Push. So what this deck is I'm calling it 4-color energy. It's essentially Teamer, but just splashed black for Glint Sleeve and Fatal Push. It's been working well so far. I was worried about the mana base, but as you can see, we've got triple Blooming Marsh, which gives us green for most of the deck, plus the black for Glint Sleeve and Fatal, along with 1 swamp for an attune target if we need it. Also doing obviously the 4 hub, 4 Botanical Sanctum, green blue. Running so from the land base with my old teamer, I was doing Lumbering Falls. Really good man land, but it ended up not making the cut because I really only need blue for Rogue Refiner and Whirler Virtuoso. And honestly, Whirler Virtuoso might become Chandra's. I know that might sound a little controversial, cutting Whirler Virtuoso entirely from the deck, but honestly, he hasn't done much for me in the last couple of games, but in Teamer or in 4-color. He comes out and mostly he's just good for farming energy. I get 3 energy that I can then spend on a Hydra or something like that, or on Glint Sleeve draws, But as far as his ability to make tokens, generally, if I'm doing that, my back is already so far against the wall that, the game is probably not in a winnable state anyway. So I don't know. Whirl Virtuoso, he's in here for now, but he might even come out for Chandra, which makes Lumbering Falls even less useful because the only blue in the deck then is Rogue Refiner and then potential sideboards with Negate and Essence Scatter. So yeah, Botanical Sanctum, Double Forest, Island, Mountain, Tomb with Aether. Sheltered Thicket, I like this card a lot. I think Cycle Lands are a lot stronger than I originally gave them credit for. They're great top decks, late game, stuff like that. Considering adding more, potentially cutting a Spire Bluff or 2 for some more Sheltered Thickets. I don't know yet. Land base is still being fiddled with, but I can say so far the base has been pretty consistent, for me at least. Moving on to removal, we got double Fatal Push. I'm playing with the numbers right now on Magma Spray and Fatal Push. Right now I'm doing 3 and 2. I think 3 Fatal, 2 Magma might be better. Move the Magmas into the side deck, bring them in against stuff like Mardu for Scrap Heap, Zombies, obviously. I don't know. I'm liking the 2-3 right now. Harness Lightning, more removal, obviously generates energy, kills things, run 4, creature lineup, Glint Sleeve, like I said, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, energy-based card in the game. Comes out, it's a 2-1 with Menace, gains you energy, and is also an energy sink that nets you continuous card advantage. It's a big target for removal. The opponent doesn't want this sitting on the field because in this deck, you're going to farm energy and you're going to farm it fast. So they don't want Glint Sleeve able to continually benefit off that stockpiled energy. So it sucks up removal that may be used on a Hydra or a beefed up Long Tusk Cub, something like that. Then, of course, we got the Long Tusk Cub, It's pretty self-explanatory. This is one of the best energy cards as far as energy sinks goes. Beef it up. It only costs 2 mana. Simple. Servant of the Conduit, ramp, turn 4, Glorybringer feels really good with this card. Turn 3 Hydra, again another good one. Generates energy, so even if she doesn't do any ramping, you're still getting energy off her. Sinking into a cub, into a glint sleeve, whatever. Double Ronus. I wasn't sold on Ronus at all when I was first running, even back when I was running Teamer, when the deck had, debatably more open space in it because there was only 3 colors. I still wasn't big on Ronus, but I've really come around to him. He plays well with Long Tusk Cub because even if Ronus doesn't have the mana to buff Long Tusk, if you have the energy, if you played in a tune and then Long Tusk Cub came out and did one swing, you now have enough energy to buff Long Tusk to a 4/4, which makes Ronus live potentially on turn 3, which is nuts. He's got a lot of good keywords: Death Touch, Indestructible, 5/5 for 3, which, excellent. And then his 3 mana, use it whenever you want. Opponent's turn, give something +2 and trample. Yeah, I find in a lot of my games the opponent forgets that I can do that with Ronus on their turn, and they'll do some pretty silly blocks, and then it's Ronus. Do you forget about him? And then all of a sudden they're losing a battle they would have normally won. Whirler, like I said, been pretty lackluster for me. Mostly it's just he comes out, he makes 3 energy, which is good. Don't get me wrong, but as far as the tokens go, a lot less good than I was expecting. When you think about his ability, you're like, holy shit, that's nuts. You can make a bunch of flyers and chump block or swing in for extra damage. Like, in my experience, it hasn't been ideal. Rogue Refiner, pure value, the value machine. 3 mana, 3/2, gets you energy and a card. Like, that's, for an energy deck, that's the perfect situation. I'm gaining energy and I'm gaining a card. Glint Sleeve makes you pay a life and some energy to draw that card. Rogue Refiner comes out, gives you energy and that card. Of course, you can't repeat it over and over again like you can with Glint Sleeve, but still, excellent. Bristling Hydra, 3 of. I was doing 4. Don't think 4 is necessary. Don't want to see it. Seeing 1 opening hand is okay, but definitely don't want to see more than that. And ideally, I would prefer to draw into him, to be honest. But again, 3. He comes in, you get 3 energy, pay 3 energy, give him +1/+1, hexproof to end of the turn. I mean, the card against control is it's awful to try and get rid of. I would know. I played control for a long time, and anytime I saw a Hydra and I didn't have a counter ready for it, I was like, well, here we go. That's probably the game. So, great card. Glorybringer, he's the finisher. He comes down, if I'm playing a creature deck, he's going to kill a creature, deal 4 damage. Or, if not, he's just going to keep dealing 4 damage over and over, flying, haste, get him out turn 4 with Servant. He's not energy related, but he doesn't really have to be. He's, I think one of the best finishers in Standard right now. I'm not playing Elder Deep Fiend in this deck. Even in Teamer, I wasn't running it for long. I ran it for a little bit. The Glorybringer Elder Deep Fiend sack combo is dirty and feels real good to do, but I find that Elder Deep Fiend on the whole is a very clunky card, and I think the deck curves out way nicer without him in it. So I didn't run him in Teamer, and I definitely don't run him here. I didn't have the space for him there. The space is even tighter in this deck. So only thing I think that might be missing from this deck is Chandra's. Chandra's obviously an excellent card. And like I said, the Whirlers might become Chandra's. I think that might be the play. I still have to test. The only reason I haven't done that yet is I actually just don't own Chandras on Magic Online. I have them in paper. They're like $25 in Magic Online. You kidding me? You crazy? No way. Anyway, side deck. Side deck's definitely a work in progress. We got triple negate, double essence scatter. I think, people are starting to cut negate out of things now that Aetherworks Marvel is banned. I think that's a bad move. Negate is still really good against Mardu. They try and drop that Gideon on you, negate it. What else? Essence Scatter, good against zombies, hit the lords. It's also good against the mirror, more teamer energy stuff. Hit their cub early, hit, Ronus turn 3. That's a good one. The extra magma spray for zombies. Radiant Flames is zombies. It's not terrible against Teamer either. I don't know if I would necessarily side in all 3 against Teamer, but it hits a lot of their early game stuff. Dissenter's Deliverance is for... Dissenter's Deliverance is for Artifact, Hardy Kieran. Deliverance might become Appetite for the Unnatural, or maybe Natural State. Once Hour of Devastation comes out, that card that prevents players from gaining counters really has me scared, if I'm honest. So I really think Enchantment Hate is going to have to make its way into the side, because Mardu's going to run it. They're going to run 4 of those guys to try and fuck on energy. So that's probably what these will turn into. And then Cut to Ribbons. Cut to Ribbons is actually, I was siding this in Teamer just for the cut part. Deal 4 damage to target creature, kill that Glorybringer in the mirror. Good stuff. But now that I'm running the 4th color, I can actually utilize ribbons as well. It hasn't come up really, I don't think it will come up particularly often, but the potential is there, which is nice, So yeah, that's the deck. It's been running pretty well for me. We're gonna head into a competitive standard league, run 5 matches, and see how we do. So I'll see you back for those.